All right, I think I'm recording my screen. Okay, Bob, this is just a very simple example of what we can do with a very simple data set, which I kind of think yours is. What I did is I just put together some test data, and this is in Excel. I'm not sure if you have Excel, but we can figure that out. And there's about 10 columns in here. You can see some that'll look familiar, first name, last name. I put postal code in there just to have some location, gender, birth date, which can be translated into age over here. I put in a sales amount in, and then I put a number of sales column in, and I'll show you how I did that. Anyways, this is the raw data. Pretty easy to get into a spreadsheet. You have to do that. I think you have different columns besides size. I think I remember something like that. Anyways, easy to put in data. Once you've got the data that you have for your sales, it can be put into a spreadsheet, something like this. This is ClickView. This is a software, and it's actually free software. Now there's a certain limitation to it, and I can tell you about that. It really has to do with the fact that you can download and use it on a machine, but once that machine's done, you can't transfer what you've created over to another machine. But creating stuff with ClickView is very easy, and I'll show you kind of what we do. So the very first step is reading in the data, and there's a little script behind here, and I'm just going to open it up and show you what it looks like. Very simple. Basically, it's just saying read the data that we saw from an Excel spreadsheet called this on my machine somewhere. Okay, so once I create the spreadsheet, I just have to load it in. And then once I load it in, I can use it to create all these kinds of objects. So what we kind of have here is a very simple view of the world. We're looking at the dollars spent or sales amount by municipality, right? And you can interact with this. So if you wanted to look for a specific person, you could search here. I'm going to just put in an S. Because everybody that has an S in their name, Smith. We've got a few of them there. Barry Smith, Bob Smith, all these. You can choose them all by just hitting enter, or you can just pick one or a number of them. And there you go. It's just going to filter it. Whenever you want to clear a filter, just click clear. You do by gender. You can see it's automatically updating. Male, female. And we've got this search up here that is kind of like a Google search where I can search for anything. What if I want to go Vancouver? Well, Vancouver shows up as city name in 7 instances. Here's West Vancouver here, North Vancouver, Van. There's Vancouver. Lots of different ways they spell it, looks like. I'm going to clear it again, and then we got it by municipality, which is the same thing as this, access. We've got municipality up here, it's the same thing as here. Large, medium, small, I remember you saying something about that. I just mocked up the data. You can see what the sales are by that. So this is just one view. It's called a dashboard. You can put pretty much anything you want in it. Here's another one that looks similar. So I've just added 4 different views of the same data. Dollars spent by size, by urban, rural. So the location is kind of the classification of the location, and then by gender. And average sales is very basically, it's a calculation. Really, it's the number or the total sales divided by the number of sales. So the total sale amount divided by the number of sales. So if you wanted to take a look at it, you could look at this by the same kind of calculation by a specific area and see what is the average sales. You may have a huge number of sales in Vancouver, for instance, from Vancouver, but maybe the dollars per person in Vancouver is low. Anyway, that's the kind of analysis you could do too. Creating these analyses are very basic. I did this in under an hour. So you can imagine what you could do with it. It's pretty flexible, pretty powerful tool. It's my favorite of all the BI tools. You could spend days installing some of the business intelligence tools, and it'll just take you forever to even get it installed before you can work with it. This is a very lightweight tool. They're focusing on small, medium-sized business. The actual tool cost itself is pretty darn expensive, but they give you this free edition for use, again, with the limitation that I mentioned before. You'd have to create the analysis on your own computer, and then once your computer's dead and or you're getting rid of it, you'd have to recreate it in another machine. Now, the data, in my mind, this is just the way I think of it, the data is always the most important thing. Of course, you've got your data, it's your business data, it means something to you. Creating these analyses that I've just done here with ClickView is pretty basic to do. Something to consider. Take a look at it, see what you think. I'll chat with you soon. Bye.